Hey, it's Bart with the Scotch Test Dummies, and I'm coming to you with another December 2020 quick hitter, and let's call them life lessons. Life lessons. So I've got samples over here for those of you that don't know, and most of you probably do. I will get samples in from fans. I will pull them out of a group of like 40 or 50 samples, no idea what it is, pour it in a glass, try it blind. Play with your whiskey is what I will tell you. Play with your whiskey. Now with this, I'm also wrapping in my 2020 thoughts. You might also know, I have on my Boba Fett shirt. I've loved Boba Fett ever since I was 10 and mailed my UPCs away for the Boba Fett action figure, which was delayed forever because of the shooting rocket that they had to glue in place. I love Boba Fett. Han Solo's my favorite. Boba Fett's my second and my favorite bad guy, kind of. So when he showed up on The Mandalorian, I'm living my childhood dream. Boba Fett. Live your childhood dream. You know, they say as you get older, the actual key to mastery is to then be able to kind of return to that playful self, those things that you enjoyed most as a child. I'd like to say I'm doing that, maybe with great success. Maybe. Ooh, lordy, 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 we have peat. And it's an Isla peat, unless I'm being tricked, which I could be. But this is creosote. This is licorice, black, dark licorice. Tar, smoke, peaty goodness. I love it. This may blow my palate for the next one I'm doing. If I had to guess, it's almost like that Bowmore peat. So it's got a little bit of that, almost like a citrus tinge to it on the nose. Should have had this when I was talking about burning the yard. Go check that episode out. Hello. Wow. Okay. I get a dark earth. Kind of like you're shoveling into wet dirt. Wet earth. Wet dirt doesn't sound as good as wet turned earth. A little bit of like a smoke from a 10-hour-old fire. Still kind of like you're stirring the coals coming in on the taste. Wow, I still get licorice, creosote, tar, a tingle. A little bit of that blackjack gum, of course, which is black licorice as well. Let me set this off to the side. I usually keep a death grip on it. There's a label. I can feel it, can't see it. We're going to add a little bit of water. The ABV feels high, like a 52. We're going to add a little bit. Love the flavor. It's hard to tell again because I get some oddballs that come in on these samples that are pretty rare sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. By the way, if you want to send samples, hit me up at bart@scotchtestdummies.com. So, and then we can get you in. Please label them nice. Put your name in there if you want me to shout out your name for providing the samples. I still got plenty over there, thanks to Beaver in Florida. But it keeps these segments coming, and I love trying them blind. Again, I'm leaning toward more, but it's real hard for me to come in and pick with some of the different wild things that can happen. Boy, I feel like it's something else, but I can't peg it. The other story we're going to tell before I read it. I think the next one in order. Well, the pandemic does get announced, and we go into full lockdown nationwide. Now, I will tell you, we actually had kind of a, it reminded me of the birth of our first son, Bo, where I took 2 weeks off, and it was just me and the family, ensconced in family. No work, no distractions. Total focus. Now, of course, a little bit different. You didn't have the miracle of the birth and all that kind of stuff, and the being a father and all that comes with that. Ooh, wow. Where'd that come from? So, that was interesting. So it wasn't that, obviously, but you had this folding in. We're all here in the house together, and of course, being a big board gamer, which you guys can't see it, but it's all over that wall, some there, some there. We started playing games and enjoying the time together and had a quite enjoyable time. Work slowed down tremendously, especially in community policing of a team I run, because guess what? They don't want us mingling with the community at that point in time. So we shifted a little bit, did some different things, and it was an interesting time. I would say the virus hadn't really hit Kansas at that point in time. You know, there was some trickling in. But I still had to go to work, but the kids were home, spouse was home, so we actually had quite a pleasant time. It was a fun coming togetherness. That was good. So I'll call that good. And I didn't think I would get verklempt by talking about fatherhood, and the other time I had 2 weeks off. Maybe that's why I was like, this isn't half bad. So let's get into what this is. Clair the Third sent this. First of all, it's written in Sharpie on the back. Aha! No wonder I couldn't quite peg it. Bruichladdich will tell you, Octomore 7.3, 126 proof. Woohoo! Way up there. Way up there. So what, 63% ABV? Delicious, and those flavors, and that's a very interesting point because I couldn't quite peg it. And I will tell you that these Octomores are so peated. ppm is super high, but that is interesting. The 7.3 Octomore, powerful, punchy, all kinds of peaty. Very, very nice, very nice. We've had some discussions maybe with Bruichladdich coming up. Maybe. We'll see. Man, this is where Bruichladdich shines with, you know, everything they've done with buying. Well, it's that first farm to field. I'm not saying this is, but where they were buying their own barley, 100% barley, organically grown right there on Isla, going heavily peated, especially when Bruichladdich coming from Isla was unpeated. Everything they were doing with cask finishing, all of that awesomeness, and then boom, out they come with Octomore, and 7.3 is whoo, punch. So you got the licorice notes, the creosote, the tar. Wow. Nice. You can't go wrong. The nose here is as delicious as the taste. Man. Now again, if you don't like peat, this probably won't change your mind. But if you love peat, this is that warm blanket that wraps around you in a blizzard while you sit in front of a wood-stoked fire. Yes, that's the feeling I get. That is it. One more sip. All right, and the general wrap-up. So the early onslaught of COVID was the impending fear of the pandemic. But what we got here, at least in the brunching house, was a lot of togetherness. And it was nice. It was nice. Scotch it, you Scotch gods. So long, you dummies. And thanks, Clair the Third. I know you like this beer. See you guys. Bye.